Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Folks, we're going to talk about 3 little short stories, 1 comic book and 2 children's books really. But they're all interesting and I am super excited to talk to you about them. The first one is called Star Wars, a Valentine story. Now this was written by Jude Wint. And in it, Han and Leia are making supply runs on Hoth. This is right prior to Empire Strikes Back, and they get caught in a snowstorm and they crash. I know, that's very generic. But anyway, Chewie's in another ship. He crashes too. Han's trying to find Chewie. He can't. He goes out into the cold. Leia's like, you're an idiot. You know, you can't survive out on, a night in Hoth on your own. Even though when you think about it, he actually did in the movie, right? But that's besides the point. Anyway, they are safely inside the Millennium Falcon. You know, it's still cold, but at least they've got a man-made hut than just roughing it out there like the camping trip we saw in Empire Strikes Back. But anyway, this is where they kind of talk to each other. They get to know each other and they're kind of falling in love. Ooh. Now, if you saw the cover, it's kind of rosy, kind of girly. And this came out, I believe, 2 days prior to Valentine's Day. So it was timed on purpose, a little Valentine's Day one-shot comic book, just something to ring those cash registers and get our money. And of course it did. Of course I bought it, even though I was like, yeah, I want to get the Valentine story. It's not for me, it's for my girlfriend. Yeah, I was lying because I was in a comic book store buying Star Wars comics. He knew I didn't have a girlfriend. The next 2 stories I want to talk about are children's novels. They're just like little bitty, the thick cardboard type. It'll take you maybe 30 seconds to read through them. But they would fit in around this time because, hey, we're fitting everything in this EU timeline, right? At least we're trying to. And the first one's called Luke Skywalker's Race Against Time. Luke and some X-Wings are going to take on a Star Destroyer. And that's basically it. And the second one I want to talk about, and I'm going to group these together in a minute, but it's called Han Solo's Rescue Mission. Now in this one, Han Solo's rescuing 2 Ithorians and he's on the run from the Empire and he goes into an asteroid belt to lose them. So this is kind of, reminiscent of Empire, which hasn't happened yet chronologically, but it makes sense that Han thinks going into, actually it doesn't make sense why he's going to an asteroid belt again, because he has danger in the children's book. But let's call a spade here, folks. These are children's books. I mean, incredibly low-grade children's books too, so I can't really come down hard on them. Plus, I actually love the author. You won't believe this, they're written by John Whitman, who did Galaxy of Fear. Again, I did not remember this until I started looking through my review again. I had bought these children's books a couple of years back. I think this is also part of the purchase of when I told you Disney bought out Lucasfilm. I immediately went through and bought all the children's EU short stories or little children's books I could find, and that was among the stack. And so when I was reviewing, I was like, do I even have these? And I do. I have them in my collection. And I just hadn't read them in like forever. And they take, like I said, 30 seconds to a minute to read. But what I was shocked that it was John Whitman as the author. I was like, shut up. What else did this guy do? And I think he got the short end of the stick, but I mean, he does his best for what he's required to do, right, for a children's book. But John Whitman, it's like getting Timothy Zahn to write this story, or Michael Stackpole. I just think a lot about John Whitman, and I really wish they would have let him write a novel, because I really would have liked to have seen that from him based off his Galaxy of Fear stuff. Now, this is nothing like Galaxy of Fear. Do you need these? Not really, unless you're a completist like me. Now, a lot of you may be looking at some of this and going, oh, wow, I didn't know this. Yeah, that's why we do these videos, even on the little bitty children's books that usually don't matter, but if it's something different, something we haven't seen before, and it's outside the scope of the movies, it is Expanded Universe, and I happily welcome both of these short stories in with open arms. All right, folks, that is all the time I have for now. I'll see you next time with another video.